welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another Slimming World recipe video. I really am so happy that you've been enjoying these. I've been getting messages on Instagram. It just makes me so happy to know that you are enjoying what I'm making and enjoying the recipes, and I just love it. So keep on letting me know that you are trying them, enjoying them, liking them. Yes, let's get on with the video.
To start off with, I'm going to show you stuffed peppers. So you're going to want to cut them in half and then get rid of all the seeds and all the, the stuff in the middle to make sure you've got enough room to stuff your peppers like so. Now for this pepper, I'm going to chop into small pieces because this one is actually going to go inside the other peppers. We're going to stuff this inside. And as you can see, I'm now going to chop up an onion as well. Once you've done that, spray a pan with some fry light and then add your pepper and your onion, and then add a load of garlic. If you know me, or if you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that I don't measure, I just judge. So I just pour a load of garlic in and then stir in the mince. If you've seen other videos, you'll know exactly what woo woo sauce is. It's Worcestershire, don't know how to say it, but that sauce. Add a load of woo woo sauce. As you see, I like to use a lot of it. Then you'll want to add some tomato puree paste stuff. I don't know how much I'm using a fair bit, so maybe 4 tablespoons, I don't really know. As I've already said, I just sort of do what I think and just judge it by eye. And then add in some red wine vinegar, probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons I would reckon. Actually could be more than that, that was probably 3, wasn't it? And then a load of garlic. Then some mustard powder. I don't use too much of this because I don't actually like mustard, but yeah, just a few little pinches and then stir it all together. I'm then adding some salt and apparently some more woo woo sauce because I clearly didn't use enough before, did I? Here I'm just dishing up a bowl full for Nevaeh and Leo, our little girl and boy, for their dinner. Next you'll want to lay a tray, what's it called? Lay a tray with some foil paper and then add your peppers and then stuff them with all the mince mixture. And as you'll see, I really do like to try and push it all in, shove as much in as I can because I just want it to be so full of this mince mixture. So literally just stuff in as much as you can and then really pat it down to make sure you fill any gaps. Watching this back, I really want to eat it all over again right now. This has to be one of my favourite meals I've had recently. It was so nice. So this is what they look like at the moment. As you can see, I stuffed a lot in there, but now we're going to want to cover them in cheese. For mine, I used reduced fat cheddar cheese, and then for James's, he had the full fat cheese and he had a lot more than me. I obviously weighed mine out for my A option, and James's peppers could have as much cheese as he wanted. As you can see, just like the mince, I'm really trying to push it down and get in as much cheese as I can. Really push it in there because obviously it's going to melt and I just want it to be all gooey and lovely. And yeah, this is what they look like before they go in the oven. Can you tell which one's mine? My cheese looks a little bit sorry for itself, doesn't it? And then James's obviously has more cheese and just looks better cheese, doesn't it? Dun dun dun! Ta-da! Oh, look at that cheese. Is there anything better than melted cheese? These were honestly so tasty, and they're so easy to make, weren't they? You've seen what I just did to make them. So easy and so yummy. And although they look quite small, they're really filling. So obviously you've got the mince in there, you've got peppers, you've got onion, really filling. Obviously serve with what you like, but I've served with cauliflower, carrots, peas, broccoli and some sweet potato chips. Absolutely gorgeous. Next I'm going to show you Donna Kebab, like a little fake away Donna Kebab meat, but obviously Slimming World version. So cut up an onion, spray your pan, you know the drill, fry your onions. You'll want to cook the onions until they're nice and soft because you are going to blend them. So in the background, I'm just adding some mint. Now I added it to the soup maker. I thought, you know what, I'll put it in the soup maker. I'll turn the blade on. I'll do it on the blend option. It will work. It'll be fine. Don't waste your time. Don't bother with a soup maker. Just go straight to the hand blender. So I've added my onion. I'm now going to add some cumin, some cinnamon, and some paprika. I then add some salt, give it a stir, add 1 egg, slightly beaten, and some garlic, and then I try and blend it. But like I say, do not waste your time, just go straight to the hand blender, which you'll see me do in a minute. Blend it together until it's nice and smooth, and then transfer that into a loaf tin and chill for at least 4 hours. I actually left it overnight and the whole of the next day. Cover with foil and then cook in the oven at about 180 for an hour and 10 minutes. Take it out and then pour out any liquid that is sort of come out from the meat. Pour out the liquid, put it back in the oven, this time uncovered, and cook for a further about 10 to 15 minutes. And then take it out of the oven, and you'll want it to cool down for about another 10 minutes. Before you try and slice it up. So this is what it looked like out of the oven, and I'm going to wait for that to cool down for 10 minutes, and while I wait for it to cool down, I'm going to make myself some garlic bread, and I'll show you how. I'm using 2 teaspoons of butter for 3 sins, and I'll melt that in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds, then adding a lot of garlic. Now I like my garlic, as you know, but I'm going to use a lot because I love garlicky bread. For my B option, I'm using one of them gluten-free, I don't know how to pronounce it, ciabatta? One of them bread rolls. Chop it in half, and then as you'll see in a minute, the melted butter goes to like a paste, so you want to spread that all over both bits of bread. Then simply grate some cheese, measure it out for your A option, and then lay it on top of your bread. That will take about 8 to 10 minutes in the oven, and then while I wait for that and while the meat is still cooling down, I'm just going to chop up my veg. So not a potato, why do we always call these potatoes? Tomatoes and some cucumber. Here is the meat all chopped up. I am going to serve it with sin-free garlic mayo. Now I didn't actually show you how I did this, but I just used quark, some garlic in there and a little bit of water, mixed it all together and then chilled it in the fridge for about half an hour. I did that before I did any of this recording, so I'm sorry I forgot to show you, but it was really easy to make. So this is it before the mayo. Look at that bread, oh yum. I just sprinkled some basil on top of the mayo and the garlic bread, and this was an absolute treat. If you use the bread as your B option and the cheese as your A option, there's 3 sins in the butter, and that is it. It was such a treat, but it wasn't naughty. Next, I'm going to show you pork chops in a nice cheesy tomato sauce. Now this, again, is so easy to make, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So chop up an onion. I'm actually using 2 onions, but you can just use 1 if you want. I just like to use plenty of onion just to give it lots of flavour. I'm then adding garlic to the onion and then a tin of chopped tomatoes. One tablespoon of balsamic vinegar and 240 millilitres of water, and then just cook that until it's a nice thick sauce. Once you're happy with it, once it's nice and thick, layer a tin with the sauce and spread it out evenly, and then you'll want to place your pork chops on top of the sauce, and then you'll want to get a spoon and sort of scrape out the sauce around the pork chops and layer it on top. You'll see what I mean in a second. Once you've done that, so it's got a layer of sauce on the bottom and the top, you then want to season with salt, and the next step is to use your healthy option A for your cheese. So weigh out your cheese and then spread the cheese on top. And then cook under the grill until it's cooked to your liking. This is how it is after it's cooked. You can then serve the pork chops and then the leftover sauce in the tray. Just pour it on top. And there you have it. This was gorgeous. I know I'm saying this about all the meals, but honestly, every single meal has been so tasty. And I'm serving my broccoli and a load of swede. Yummy, yum, yum. Next, I'm going to show you a slow cooker stew. Now, before this, I hadn't had stew in years because James doesn't like it, so we hardly ever have it. But actually, he said it was alright. He ate it, he said it was alright, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so nice. So you've just seen me cut up a potato, add that to my slow cooker. I'm now going to cut up 2 peppers, 2 carrots and an onion and add it to the slow cooker. Then add your diced beef and add some smoked paprika. Again, I don't know how many tablespoons, I just judged it. And then make sure you stir it. We don't want to cook it for too long, just want to brown the meat and get the flavour in there. Once you've stirred in the meat, you'll want 1 tin of chopped tomatoes, some tomato puree paste, season it with some salt, then add about 500 millilitres of beef stock. I've used 2 beef stocks in this water. And that is it. You'll want to cook it on low for 7 hours and just leave it to cook, and that is so simple and easy. Slow cookers just make life so much easier, don't they? And like I said, this was absolutely gorgeous, and it's so nice on a cold winter's day. It's just such warming comfort food, isn't it? I sprinkled with basil. I actually had 2 bowls of this. I had 1 bowl and then I went back for seconds because it was just so nice. Okay, so next I'm going to show you a Philly cheesesteak. It's quite similar. It's similar to the stuffed peppers, similar but different. So I'm going to chop up 2 peppers. I've chose a yellow and a green, but obviously choose whatever colours you would like. And then chopping up a few mushrooms. Again, I'm choosing to cut up 2 onions, but you haven't got to if you don't want to. Next, get a piece of steak and cut off the fat, and then you'll want to cut the steak into strips. As you'll see, I've changed knives. That red knife, it just wasn't doing the job. I don't know why I don't just throw it in the bin and get rid of it, because it doesn't do the job properly. Season the steak with some salt, and then you want to start by cooking all the veg and then add a lot of garlic. And then add a load of woo woo sauce. While that is cooking away, I'm spraying a pan with fry light and going to cook the steak. Then add 75 grams of light spreadable cheese for your A option, and then stir and stir and stir until it's all nice and melted. I've then added the meat, stirred it all in, and this is what it looks like. Oh, lovely and creamy. I've then served it with one of them ciabatta, however you say it, them rolls. I would suggest using your sins on some butter because the bread was actually quite dry on its own. But here you have it, served with celeriac chips too. Okay, the next dish I'm going to show you it's apparently a Spanish tortilla, but it's basically a frittata, or like an omelette-y, an omelette-y frittata. So I'm just chopping up some pepper and onion. I almost forgot to show you this part, hence the funny angle, but I'm also chopping up, obviously, some potatoes. I'm going to call them tomatoes again. Potatoes. Cook your peppers and your onion, and then while this is cooking, you're going to want to whisk together 5 eggs, some salt and pepper and garlic, and then I added some paprika, but you can add whatever seasoning that you would like. The potatoes that I chopped earlier, I've cooked in the microwave just under the new potato option that we have, so just to make them softer and, cooked. Add them to your peppers and onion and stir in some spinach. I had already cooked this a little bit to, what's the word, shrivel it up, I don't know what the word is. I then add the egg. Now, as you will see, I didn't use enough eggs, I'd used 5. I've just whisked together 2 more eggs and added that. And then make sure you keep turning the pan so the whole thing gets covered in the egg. I then let that cook for only about a minute or so, and then I actually cook it in the oven. I find that if I try and cook it in the pan, it just burns, the bottom of it burns. So I just cook it for a couple of minutes and then shove it in the oven for, I don't know, about 20 minutes. Just keep checking on it, you'll know when it's done. And I'm obviously keeping the oven door open because I've got the frying pan in there. But here you go, I've sprinkled with basil and it was absolutely gorgeous. And then going to serve with some extra spinach just to, get that extra greens in, and there you have it. So for the last dish, I'm going to do a spicy one, very, very spicy. Firecracker prawns. I didn't realise how spicy it was until I had a bite. Oh my word, if you don't like spice, I would skip, just skip. So I've just cut up some baby corn, some spring onion and 2 chilies. Maybe just try the 1 chili if you don't like spice. We then want to cut up 2 peppers and then cook to start off with the sweet corn and the onion. I've then added a load of garlic, and then I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients, the rest of the vegetables. Spray with some fry light and give it a stir, and then in the background you'll see that I'm going to be cooking some noodles. Add your prawns, they're already cooked prawns, and then stir it all in. Add 4 tablespoons of oyster sauce, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. Add some lime juice and then 2 teaspoons of tomato puree and then a little bit of sweetener. I personally don't send sweetener and I only use a teaspoon anyway. And then just adding some garlic and some salt and pepper, and then just cook it until it's ready and serve with your noodles. It was nice, but it was so spicy and I'm not good with spice. James really likes spice and even he said it was spicy. But look at that colour, beautiful.
Okay, so that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Again, let me know if you tried the recipes, what you think of them. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.